Hey everybody, welcome back. I hope you're having a good day so far. This is our Nutrition Bites segment, and today we're going to be talking about smart snacking. So I don't know about you, but around 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm searching for a snack. And it's a great time of day to add in a little extra energy and nutrition to tide us over to that evening meal so that we're not overly hungry when we sit down for dinner or supper, whatever you prefer to call it. So I thought today we would just go through my kitchen and help me find a snack. And while I'm doing that, we'll talk about the benefits of snacking and kind of what to look for, what to choose if you're trying to make healthier choices. So let's talk about those benefits of snacking first. So there's a couple reasons that snacking is beneficial. It definitely depends on what you choose because sometimes snacking can get us into trouble. But the benefit of snacking is to manage your appetite throughout the day. So if your meals go further than 4 or 5 hours apart, that's a great place to plug in a snack. And it helps us prevent getting overly hungry before that next meal time. And so generally, if we're overly hungry, we tend to eat bigger portions, eat more quickly, more mindlessly. So snacking can kind of help us stay on track with our health goals. It's also a great opportunity to get in those extra servings of fruits and vegetables and whole grains that you may not be meeting those recommendations at your meals alone. So especially for things like fruits and dairy, I think it's a good place to add in those servings. And the last benefit of snacking is that if you don't have much of an appetite, or you find that you get overly full or easily full at your meals, it may be a good strategy to have smaller, more frequent eating times. So adding in those additional smaller snacks so that instead of feeling so full and miserable after each eating time, you spread out that nutrition across your day. You're still able to get that fuel and that energy and nourishment you need without, forcing yourself to have those larger meals. So snacking is an excellent option for smaller, more frequent eating times. So I'm getting hungry. Let's see what I've got. I'm going to start in the fridge because these are the items that are probably going to go bad first. They're more perishable and need to be used up. So when we're talking about reducing food waste, let's start in the fridge and see what we have today. So my fridge is a little empty because I'm going to be gone this weekend, but I always have some whole fruits on hand in the fruit drawer here. And so whole fruits are an excellent snack because they're high in fiber, they've got good carbohydrate for energy, and they're really portable. They're easy grab and go. They're in their own little package, no wrapping necessary. So I've always got things like this on hand. I love the clementines, halos, cuties, whatever you like, because they're so easy to peel, really refreshing. And then I almost always grab a bag of apples when I'm at the grocery store because they're pretty cheap and I can grab one and throw it in my bag every day on my way out the door. So I almost always have an apple around this time of day, so I think I'm going to set that out. That might be a good option for my snack. Before we move on to the next area, my fridge, I'm going to close this because otherwise it'll start beeping at us. I want to kind of go over with you what I'm looking for a smart snack. So hopefully you can see this okay. For snack time, so I'm kind of looking for a couple things that I want to check off for a healthy snack. And you'll see two main items here, carbs and protein. So this is the perfect combination for a snack. Those carbohydrates are going to give you great energy, especially if they're high in fiber. That's really lasting energy. Now the protein is what's going to keep you full and really make that energy last. So if you find that eating something like an apple, you're hungry 30 minutes later and you're back in the kitchen looking for another snack, that's because it doesn't have much protein. And while it's great healthy energy and lots of nutrition, you need to add a protein to this apple to make this energy last a lot longer. So that's what I'm going to look for. I'm going to keep an eye out for a protein that I can add to my apple. Carbs and protein are the magic combination for a well-balanced snack. So let's see what else I've got in here. Okay, so fruits, wonderful option. Of course, the next thing I'm going to go to is our vegetable drawer. Raw vegetables are a great snack. Again, no prep involved. You just pull them out, add a dip if you want, and that's a really easy way to get in a serving of vegetables separate from your meals. So my favorites are things like baby carrots and broccoli florets, things I don't even have to cut up. I normally have celery on hand as well, sometimes cucumbers. Those are kind of my go-to vegetables. But if you want a little extra flavor, there's nothing wrong with dipping this in a light ranch, or my personal favorite, some hummus. If you haven't tried hummus, it's about time that you do. This is a high protein dip because it's made from chickpeas. So it's a bean dip of sorts. So you can get all different flavors and varieties, but I really like the hummus with my raw vegetables. It makes a nice balanced snack, and it's pretty filling. You can also dip like whole wheat crackers in your hummus as well. So I'm going to get to the crackers here in a minute and we'll look through those. So this would make a great snack option, but I'm kind of looking for something a little sweeter right now versus something savory. Down in my meat and cheese drawer, another great grab and go option would be low-fat cheeses. And the harder cheeses, you know, if you're watching your cholesterol, you want to be careful what kind of cheese and how much cheese you're getting. So a low-fat option like a part skim mozzarella is a good option versus like a harder block cheese. Softer cheeses like goat cheese, feta, those would be good as well. The spreadable cheeses you can buy in pre-portioned amounts. I like my cheese pre-portioned because I really like cheese and I can get a little carried away if I'm slicing it out on my own. So this is great because it's already portioned for me, and this is a low-fat part skim mozzarella. So this is a really good grab-and-go snack, and it's a good protein option. So I could have this with my fruit or with some crackers, and that's going to be a really good carb and protein balance, okay? So I do love cheese, but again, I'm trying to get something sweet right now. So we're going to put this back. Okay, what else do I have in the fridge? Yogurt. Yogurt is an excellent snack as well. Let's talk about the specifics for yogurt. Personally, I like Greek yogurt because it's a lot thicker and creamier, so to me that's more satisfying. Some folks don't prefer the thicker texture of Greek yogurt, and regular yogurt is a really healthy option too. The benefit of the Greek yogurt is that it is higher in protein. So actually this on its own, and you know, I've just got a basic old store brand, but there's lots of different great Greek yogurt brands. This on its own is the perfect balance of carb and protein. It's almost equal amounts actually. So 15 grams of carbohydrate, that's about a carb choice if you're watching your blood sugar or if you have diabetes. So this is a perfect snack portion, and it also has 13 grams of protein. So that's almost equal to the carbohydrates. Now, the one thing you do want to look out for with yogurt is the amount of sugar, because naturally yogurt has sugar because it's a milk product, but a lot of food companies and different brands add extra sugar for flavoring, or they've added fruit, which adds more sugar. So I like to look at the grams of added sugars, and my kind of rule of thumb is to keep that in the single digits. So less than 10 grams for sugar. This one is right on the line there. It has 9 grams of added sugar. So there's a couple brands that could do a little better, but this one's cheap and convenient. It's nearby, so it follows the rule. Less than 10 grams of sugar for yogurt. Good, you know, probiotics in there, good for digestive health. You could add more to your yogurt. You could have some berries or some granola, but on its own, that's a great option. Now, I do purchase the non-fat because I'm watching my cholesterol and I want low saturated fat. But if you don't get very hungry throughout the day and you're actually trying to eat more calories, then you would probably want to get the full fat yogurt or the 2% yogurt, because that's going to provide more nutrition and energy for you, and it's very easy to eat and digest, right? Because it's nice and soft. And also, if you need softer foods, if things like a whole fruit or biting into an apple are difficult for you, there's lots of great softer fruit options too. We have unsweetened applesauce, really for my son. He loves this. But it's really important to get the unsweetened because it's already sweet enough. And again, you don't want that added sugar. So this is going to be you know, it has a good amount of natural sugar, 12 grams, but it has 0 grams of added sugar. And I'm just looking right on the nutrition label here. We're going to talk about nutrition labels some on this channel, but I'm just zeroing in on the sugars when I'm looking at things like fruit and yogurt. Okay, so added sugars are what we're wanting to limit. So this would be a nice, soft, easy fruit option to get some good vitamins in. And the cups of fruit, like fruit cups and things like that, are fine too. But you just want to try to find it in water or its own juice and not in the syrups, because that's going to add a lot of extra sugar. Okay, man, this is really making me hungry. I think we're done with the fridge. I do have some eggs in there. I normally would boil some up for the week. If you like hard-boiled eggs, that's another great protein option for breakfast or snacks. And they'll last in your fridge for 3 to 5 days. Just depends on how old your eggs were when you boiled them. So that's a good snack option that pairs really well with carbohydrates as well, and also can be taken on the go. Okay, so let's move on. Let's see what's in the pantry. So I always keep lots of nuts and seeds on hand. This is one of my favorite savory snacks. Let me show you what I've got. I've got some pistachios in here. I've got the shell on because it slows you down when you're eating. It takes a little time to shell them. And also, then you have the evidence of the shells on your plate or your napkin. And it reminds me of how much I've eaten. And so that kind of helps me rethink if I need to go back for more. And nuts are something we can easily go overboard on the portion. They are a very healthy food, really great for your heart. But it's easy to just keep munching on them if we're kind of doing that mindlessly. So you do want to maybe pour them out in a little bowl or in a napkin or something versus eating from the bag, which can help you with your portion control, or purchase the pre-portioned ones. I buy things like almonds in bulk because they're cheaper that way. They didn't have my unsalted ones, so I got the lightly salted this time for my roasted almonds. My favorite are the unsalted roasted almonds because the roasting gives it the good flavor that salt would otherwise have given the regular versions. And that's the one thing to kind of look out for with the nuts is the portion and the amount of sodium or salt. So let's see, these aren't too bad. This is the lightly salted. And so this one I'm looking at the sodium here. Let's see if I can get a good angle for you. Here we go. So sodium, 55 milligrams, which is 2% of the daily value. So that's not too bad for lightly salted. If I could get an unsalted, that's going to be 0 milligrams of sodium. And again, watch the portion. Actually, you know what? I'm going to be on the road tonight. I think I'm going to go ahead and put together a little trail mix to take with me. This is something I love to do, is make my own trail mix because I can control how much salt's in the nuts, what kind of sweet item I'm going to add. Y'all can't tell I have a little bit of a sweet tooth sometimes. So I'm going to fill this up with about 1/3 of the nuts. I'm going to add a couple more ingredients. So I'm going to add some dried fruit to this trail mix. Dried fruit is another easy option to get in a serving of fruit. I love dried mango, dried apricots, dried cherries. You do want to watch the portion on these as well. Just a couple of tablespoons is a serving for your fruit. They also can be high in sugar, especially added sugars is what we're looking for. The fruit itself will already have a good amount of natural sugar. So this one is 13 grams for my cherries, so that's a little over what I would normally get. These mangoes only have 6 grams of added sugar, so that's a great option. And so if you haven't tried stuff like this, this is a fun, easy, I call it fruit jerky, basically, is what it is. So if you like meat, beef jerkies and things like that, those can be really high in sodium. That's a very similar texture, but it's got a sweet taste instead of savory. Dried cranberries are probably the most versatile fruit that I use. I'll put it in my trail mixes. I'll throw it on top of cereal if I don't have a fresh banana around. So let's add about 1/3 of those to my mix. Okay, so nuts, dried fruit, crackers. I told you we would go over some crackers. So crackers are a little more processed than most of the items that we've gone over so far. So it's really important to look for a whole wheat cracker if you can, if there's a brand of cracker you like. What we're looking for with whole wheat crackers is additional fiber. So with my wheat thins here, we've got 3 grams of fiber right there. But with something like a Townhouse or a Ritz or a butter cracker, 0 grams of fiber. Okay? 0 grams of fiber. So, wheat wins. These Trader Joe crackers have 2 grams of fiber. Okay. A little bit of protein too in those. So, that's a little bonus. Normally we'd be counting these as our carb option, and we'd want to add a protein to it. So crackers pair great with proteins, right? Low-fat cheeses, my hummus dip. So I like whole wheat crackers on hand. Again, a good source of fiber would be like 3 to 5 grams of fiber per serving. So for these wheat thins, the serving is 16 crackers. And that's going to provide 3 grams of fiber. So 3 to 5 grams when you're looking for cereals, whole wheat crackers, cereal bars, things like that. Okay, let's see. So I'm going to add some dry cereal to my trail mix. Again, with cereals, you're wanting to try to find like a whole grain, higher fiber, and watching the sugar. So these are just plain Jane Cheerios. Again, something my son likes. So I'm going to pour a couple of these in. If you need a little sweetness to your cereal, you could add a sliced banana on top or some other fruit. You could sprinkle a little bit of sugar or stevia or Splenda instead of buying the sweetened Cheerios. Or you could buy 1 box of regular Cheerios and 1 box of the plain, the sweetened like Honey Nut, and 1 box of the plain, and mix them together so that you're not getting as much sugar, but you're getting a little bit of that flavor. So my trail mix is looking good so far. I'm going to add 1 more sweet item to match with my 2 more savory items, my grain and my nuts. And you know what that's got to be, y'all. It's got to be chocolate. And I'll tell you where I keep the chocolate in this house. It is well out of sight. It is buried in the back of my freezer, actually. So let's go digging for that. I think it's fine to have sweets and treats on hand. But when it comes to snacking, we generally are going to go for what we see first. And so I really recommend with my clients to keep the healthier items that you're wanting to choose more often very visible. So things like your fruits or vegetables cut up and in clear containers, right eye level in the fridge. I can easily see my fresh fruits as soon as I open the fridge, and they're very convenient and easy to grab. Even a fruit bowl with bananas on the counter. Now, on the other side of that, if there's things in your house that you're wanting to eat less of, or at least less spontaneously, then keep them out of sight. So my chocolate chips are, when I open my freezer here, I've got frozen fruits and veggies, and I've got meats, and then I have to pull out this drawer and reach to the back and pull out my chocolate chip collection. And same for, if I have a sweet tooth, I've also got some of these fruit bars. This is a great snack if I need something sweet and refreshing. And again, when I'm looking at products like this, I'm looking at the sugar. And so these have 8, 10, and 9 grams of added sugars depending on the flavor. There's definitely more natural fruit bars out there. I just like these flavors. This is what I have at the moment, but it's 0 fat, 0 sodium, pretty low calorie. These are like 35 and 40 calories, so that's a really nice sweet treat. But I still keep it kind of tucked away so it doesn't pop out at me. It's when I'm searching for something sweet, I've got a little healthier option. I'll put those back. So I'm gonna add my last ingredient to my trail mix, and my favorite, I've got these dark chocolate morsels, and they're a little larger, so that makes them easier for trail mix in my opinion. I just like the big ones. So I'm gonna add Oh, I'm gonna add just a little bit on top here of my dark chocolate just to sweeten that up. So I love the dark chocolate morsels. Put those back. And then what I'll do is just close up my trail mix and mix it up. And all my favorite stuff in a nice little travel portion. So trail mix is a great item, and you can have so much fun with it, making it your own and, you know, changing up the combinations of everything. Another thing I've always got in my freezer are ingredients to make smoothies. And so again, when I'm wanting something really refreshing for breakfast or a snack, I've always got some frozen fruit, you know, whether that's mixed or just plain old blueberries. And I've always got some frozen spinach that I can throw a little bit in there for extra bonus serving of vegetables. And then if I want to make it thicker or add a little extra protein, I'll use some of that Greek yogurt. If I want something a little more drinkable and refreshing, I'll just use water. Some people use juice, but I don't often have juice. So I'll just do a little water and some ice. And then if I want extra protein, I could also throw in a little protein powder. If y'all are interested in smoothie recipes or making some smoothies together, let me know in the comments. That would be a fun video to do together. I think a lot of people kind of have gotten into that over the last few years. Okay, so I forgot my last protein option for my snack today that I'm gonna choose. And it's another one of my favorites in the nut family, and that is peanut butter. So nut butter is another easy way to get in some protein with crackers, or if you like cookies, some lower sugar cookie items would be like animal crackers, vanilla wafers, graham crackers. Those are going to be a little lower in sugar. I also really try to get the natural. This says natural, but really the stir kind is the most natural. It takes a little extra work. But look at the ingredients for your peanut butter. And you really don't want it to have more than like 4 ingredients. It really should just be either peanuts alone or peanuts and salt, maybe some kind of sugar. So it really should not have like a whole laundry list of ingredients to be natural. This is the low sodium kind. I'm gonna have some of this with my apple. I think that's gonna be a great carb and protein snack. And you know what, actually, to wash it down, I think I'll add a glass of this almond milk. This doesn't really add that much extra protein. I wish I had like a soy milk or cow's milk. That would actually add even more protein to this snack. But you know, at least it's gonna give me a good serving of dairy and calcium, which calcium is really important for, especially us women, but for all of us as we age with our bone health. So it'll give me a good dose of that, and it'll wash down that peanut butter. Okay, so I've got my snack, apple. I'm gonna cut this up, put it on a plate with my peanut butter. Got my glass of almond milk to wash it down. So I've got a good mix there. Couple more things to mention before I let you go today. Keeping things out of sight. The other place I keep my more processed snacks is up here in my snack bin. So it's on top of the fridge. You gotta reach, pull it down. It's kind of heavy. So again, I'm not gonna go reaching in this first thing when I go looking for a snack. But these are more kind of like breakfast bars and granola bars and things that I can take on the go that are a little healthier, but they're still a little more processed. May have a little more sodium in them. I love these 4-packs. You can get them at Aldi. So that's a much better portion for people watching their carbohydrates and blood sugar than the 6-packs. So, you know, it's gonna be not as healthy, but it is nice sometimes to have things like this that are convenient, but I try to keep them where they're not convenient in the home and that we use them for more kind of on the go, okay? Couple last other snack ideas that I like to mention. Popcorn. Popcorn's a great snack. It's actually considered a whole grain. You do want to watch the sodium and the fat, This is a 94% fat-free version. You can definitely get more natural kernels and things to pop on your own, but this is just one of those easy microwavable ones. Now, a tip I did want to share though for popcorn is if you're getting the low salt kind, you could add something like this nutritional yeast, and this adds a salty flavor, but it's very nutritious. Nutritional yeast it's really got a lot of good nutrition, a little bit of protein, and it adds like a cheesy flavor. So if you like the cheese flavored popcorns that you can buy pre-made, I think you're gonna like this combination. It's really good, and serving a cart of popcorn is 3 cups for, again, if you're watching like your carbohydrates. So that's a big amount compared to, you know, 2 tablespoons of dried fruit. Big difference in the volume there. So I hope this helped provide some ideas for your snack time. I'm gonna jump off here and get into my snack this afternoon. I hope to see you in our next Nutrition Bites segment in April. So have a good rest of your day, and leave me some questions and comments and I'll get back to you. Bye.